Welcome to Superconnectivity. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser. So named not because I am knowledgeable, but because I profess a lot of things. I speak loudly, and people listen, and that is why I'm a professor. But with me, as always, is award-winning podcaster
Phil Perich, and it's the whole team that's award-winning, Charlie Esser.
I know, but let's be honest. Phil Perich was the man who had a dream and made that dream a reality. And that is why we are the best podcast network on comic books in the world.
Boom!
Yeah, I mean, Earth. I don't know what the Skrulls are doing. They may be better than us. I'm not gonna lie. We don't read Skrull comics here. Skrull comics may be far superior to American comics and Earth comics, the way that, Japanese comics are supposed to be better than American comics. Although, I don't know.
The Kree.
The Kree don't read comics.
How do you know?
Because the Kree are the jocks of the universe. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows the Kree are the jocks of the universe. The Skrull, they're kind of the artsy types. Because they're shapeshifters. They put on costumes. They have fun with it.
Shapeshifters, that's all tentacle porn.
That's why they like the Japanese comics. Okay, moving right along. Let's talk Cloak and Dagger, episode 3, Stained Glass. I really got to say, and I really feel this, that somehow Marvel has out-X-Men the X-Men. Or to be specific, the MCU has with Cloak and Dagger. The scene in this episode where Cloak is praying to his brother's spirit. Hey, and before you say, hey, shouldn't he be talking to God? It's like, no, he's a Catholic. We talk to dead people all the time. That's our thing. Can't just go up to God. He's very important. He's a very busy God. You get someone who's already dead, and they talk to you. And that's also essentially the thematic of voodoo. And we get this very strong thematic of voodoo throughout this. But as Cloak is talking to his brother about, things are changing within me, and I'm afraid, and I can't control it, and yada, yada, yada. It is a perfect parallel to your classic mutant tale, but done without, without Fox, because, the heck with them. We get again in this something that is a recurring theme in the Cloak and Dagger, which is the disjointed timeline. What do you think of that, Phil?
It's very trippy, but like you were saying, I don't know if they're like out mutanting Fox and stuff, because like Legion has like even this last season of Legion that just ended, they had like they did a big time travel thing where it's like the chicken and the egg, like future people would come back and say Legion was actually the bad guy, so like they kind of locked him up before he did anything. But then it's like, did them locking him up make him evil, or was he already evil so people had to come back and tell people he was evil? And
time travel shenanigans.
Yes,
we're watching Deadpool.
But I just wonder with the whole Cloak and Dagger thing, if like they're waiting for the whole deal to go through so they can like reveal that they're mutants, and the accident so much didn't give them powers as just like created a link between the two of them.
Well, I'll tell you how you're going to know if that's going to be the way they're going to go. One of them is going to have a tie back to Agent Carter. I forget the doctor's name in Agent Carter. Yeah, I forget it too. It's okay. I haven't looked it up yet, but I will guarantee you someone, and maybe not necessarily Tyrone, is going to say, yeah, my, grandfather worked for Roxxon, and,
maybe his father. Maybe his father will say something about his father or something.
Well, yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's going to be something that's going to tie back to that, and it's going to be, we don't really talk about it much, but yeah, my whatever worked for Roxxon a while ago. And we're going to see how there's some sort of tie to that zero matter. Although here's what I liked best about this episode, because this is our voodoo episode. And I'm going to be real mad if one of those people doesn't have the last name of Kale. Either the auntie or the daughter, or the auntie or the niece who is the tour guide. I wasn't sure at first if the tour guide was the same actress from the school because she changes her outfit. And, you know, you change your clothes. I don't know who you are anymore. I have facial blindness. But anyway, I'm going to be real upset if one of their last names isn't Kale. And I want a man thing before this series is over. I want someone to burn at the touch of the man thing before this series is over. Doesn't have to be a big thing. I just need maybe that rapist guy to run into the swamp and run into a man thing. It's perfect. It's great. Or the corrupt cop. Corrupt cop would be good too. We hate the corrupt cop. Darn gingers.
Well, if you do Man Thing, you could do Nexus of All Realities. Who knows what could pop out of there?
Well, exactly. Howard the Duck.
Yeah. Do you think they'd actually do a Howard the Duck in Cloak and Dagger though? Would that be a little? Would that pull some people out of it a little bit too much? You know.
Well, here's what I'll say. Leah Thompson is pushing.
Yeah.
A new Howard the Duck, and the fact that we know that Howard the Duck is in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
We know the Man Thing is in the MCU. Now, granted, people are going to say, Charlie, you're being a bad comic book nerd. The Man Thing's in Florida, not Louisiana.
It's all
and
swamp.
This is true. This is true. Well, exactly. It's all swamp to me. They could make a trip. They could drive. Tandy's always running away.
I just wonder if they could always like do something with the Man Thing that like Alan Moore would do with his Swamp Thing, where like Swamp Thing could basically like just like his essence, his spirit, whatever, could just like leave his body, travel through like vegetation, and come up somewhere else in the world and build himself a new body out of vegetation and stuff.
Yeah,
that's how they traveled.
They actually did something like that in a Hulk issue not too long ago, or maybe a long time ago, depending on how old you are. Yeah, but I remember that because that was before Betty Banner was alive for real, and Bruce meets Betty Banner. But she's
yeah. They're like,
I don't know if that was specifically tied to the Man Thing, but it was some kind of swampy recreation of
vegetation
people.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that episode. Anyway, see, I got some knowledge. I'm not dumb. So we get, and here's one of the things there's another thing I really liked about it. When they are talking about the voodoo, and they're saying, "Do you believe in this?" And he says, "Well, you don't have to believe in it for it to be real." And what I liked is it really ties into what we see with Doctor Strange and magic, which I think is where we get our tie-ins here. Is the idea that, you know, this is a focus, that there is this magic, and this is our focus into this magic, and this is what we are observing and exploring. And I like the fact that you have Cloak doing the voodoo ritual, whereas Tandy just gets on a bus. Dagger just gets on a bus. You know, although is sheathed in darkness in the hoodie of the slain brother. And which is in so many ways the original Cloak. You know, and I think that's very important in this. The fact that hoodie, which of course has taken on so many other connotations, both in the real world and the MCU. Both in the hoodie worn by Trayvon Martin, and again, the hoodie worn by Luke Cage, and now the hoodie worn by Tandy, which is in its own way a very powerful focus for that magical energy that leads to both the dark dimension and the light dimension. And this is like my weirdest thing with Cloak and Dagger, is there so few characters who have access to the light dimension?
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody and their brother has access to the dark dimension, but really only Dagger is the one that gets access to the light dimension, and it's a weird thing with that. Just for me, I don't know why there aren't more light powered superheroes, except for the fact that everyone said, "Well, it's just a Green Lantern ripoff." It's like, well, yes, of course it is. So in this story, we have this is our third installment, and we're looking at the adventures that have happened to Tandy since she left the wedding where she robbed the person. And I think I didn't even mention this in our last discussion of it, which is how much of an effort they made to make the bridesmaid seem like a horrible, horrible person to justify stealing from her. But of course, it wasn't her money they were stealing. It was actually the bartender's money. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it's like that thing that really stuck in my craw. It's like, it doesn't matter how awful of a human being she is. She doesn't deserve to have this money stolen because it's not her money. You're actually stealing. It's like when you rob a bank and say, I'm stealing from bankers. No, actually, you're stealing from people who put their money in the bank.
It's just with stuff like this where it's like your main character is like a thief. I think they try to write in like these excuses where so you're not like totally like, oh, the main character's a horrible person, They give you the slightest out where it's like, oh, well, she's stealing from horrible people. Okay, so she's Robin Hood.
Well, exactly, and that is what they're trying to do there, without a doubt. Making the act a little more sympathetic.
I always think that's like an uphill battle when you're trying to write you like this like character who's a thief and you're trying to get the audience on your side.
And what it is it's easy to make a rich person seem like a horrible person because a lot of rich people either do horrible things or have done horrible things to get rich. When you steal from Wilson Fisk, no one's saying, gee, poor Wilson Fisk. Unless you steal that painting he likes to stare at.
Or even they get with the rich people, they might not have done anything wrong, but they might just be so apathetic that they haven't helped a single person in their life. So
yeah, well, and this is the crux of that biscuit. But this is, like I said, not technically the case here. It's like they could have stolen from someone and made it. So, for example, had they played out the bride and groom to be awful, had they played out that it was because they also did this as an interesting note. They could have played the bride and groom as awful bridezillas, groomzillas, and then they stole the birdcage with all of the envelopes in it, which they did do anyway.
Yes,
they did do that anyway. Then you can say, oh, well, that's just money that was for this bride and groom, and they don't deserve it because they're horrible people. But because it's the tips for the bartenders, it's like, dude, why are you stealing my tips? Personally, I feel like there's no greater crime than to steal tips. That's just a personal thing. I've actually never been a waiter. I've been a busboy, but I've never been a waiter. But I do feel stealing tips is very...
if you're working for tips, you're not a rich person.
Exactly. Exactly. Anyway, but I like in this, so basically what we have is we have the powers guiding them rather than them guiding the powers. I found that an interesting choice to make here because, of course, essentially the Cloak power, because he's not even wearing a cloak, and this is this thing, because we see in the first 2 episodes where he's always trying to, or the first episode and a half, he has to cover himself to make the cloak work. Here, no cloak. He goes to shoot the cop, and the cloak says, no, I'm not going to let you hurt yourself that way, because this is going to end your life if you shoot this cop. And that is, in many ways, what we see in when we go into the cloak, into our own internal processes with these characters when they're going through their you have to change what you do moments, that essentially if you kill the cop, you are going to have consequences. No matter how you do it, no matter how you try to do it, you are going to end poorly. And of course, what happens is, spoilers, Tandy, who's in this moment as she's watching Cloak deal with this. And it's interesting because it's like, is this in Tandy's mind? Is this in Cloak's mind? Whose mind is this happening in? Doesn't really matter. She puts her light dagger on the table.
Yes. Oh, sorry. No, just like you were saying, the Cloak telling Tyrone no and stuff, and just from the beginning when I saw Tandy wearing the hood and stuff, I'm just wondering, since the accident, if there's a part of each in the other one, at least in their mind.
Oh yeah, well I think 100% there's going to be a yin yang quality to this.
So there's going to be even a subconscious part of her in his head saying, don't shoot this cop, and there's going to be a part of him and her, saying, be a better person, don't steal,
or be a darker person, steal that person's stuff because they don't deserve it.
Yeah, but I mean, at least since his brother's death, he hasn't been raised like that. So I don't know.
But what you're saying, and actually, what I have to say about this, because I actually missed this in the first 2 episodes, that essentially the stolen radio was originally stolen from these other guys. Because they mentioned that in the dream sequence, where basically he says, we found out where the radio is, we found out who took it from us, we're going to go get it back. And then the brother says, no, I'm just going to play with my little brother. And the little brother smiles. And, it's so beautiful because it's what he wanted to have happened. That if he had just made that choice, if he had gone down that different path, what if my brother had just decided to play basketball with me instead?
Well, he kind of did, because it was Tyrone who went and got the radio.
Well, yeah. Well, it was Tyrone who went and got the radio because the other guy said, "Hey, if we don't get that radio back, you're gonna be in trouble. They're gonna blame you for it getting stolen, or it not being where it was supposed to be." And like I said, I didn't get that it was something that was originally stolen from them. It's basically, they stole it from us. We're gonna steal it back from them. And then, of course, it is Tyrone's brother Bill trying to return it that gets him shot. Which is that I'm going to do the right thing, which of course is why Tyrone feels that pull to the darkness, because doing the right thing got him shot. Because gingers, don't trust gingers. I want to get Lilith angry if she listens to this.
Oh, she will eventually.
Yeah. Anyway, but so we go through this moment where they're all going through their big, basically LSD trip. And we get our calls out to Roxanne, where of course Tandy's father worked. And that he was essentially sacrificed by Roxanne, because he was actually saying, "Hey, we need to have better protocols. We're not doing this right. We need to be safer with this." But then they decide to say, when it all goes kaflooey, they say, "No, it was him who did it." Even though,
well, of course, people bring down your neck. Who are you going to blame? The dead guy who can't say otherwise.
Can't defend himself. Exactly. And so, but that is why he is tied to the chair. He is the sacrificed, thing. And then, of course, you have that very interesting thing, both with Tandy running away and then Tandy poisoning all of her relationships as she murders people with the little pills.
Oh, did you see? I saw you were live tweeting last night. The tweet you did about what's the lawyer's name? Gary. I think he liked it.
He liked it?
I think the actor liked it. I'm pretty sure it was the actor. Yeah.
Oh, well, sweet. Well, you know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it right now. And I hope they follow it through. Gary is going to be the Deus Ex Machina hero of this, because he's going to get the files revealed, because he's a drunk and he likes to step out, but you know what? He's still a good lawyer. And the fact that he's Stupid Tandy's mom, is irrelevant to the fact that he's not some Murdoch. He's not some Matt Murdock who fell off the pickle truck. He is a full-on Foggy Nelson. And he knows what he's doing as a lawyer. And in fact, you see that when the cop comes and the cop asks, "Can I come in?" And he just suddenly wakes up from his stupor and says, "Warrant,"
Yeah, I believe that's him. Because he even has Cloak and Dagger as like his like header picture. Gary Weeks liked it. Yeah, I believe that's the actor.
Okay, well, I'm very glad, Gary, that you liked it, and the character is great. I am really hoping to see more of him because I do like that kind of. I'm a Columbo fan. I like the rumpled raincoat characters. I like the guys that you underestimate from the start, but then show, actually, no, I'm actually really smart and I know what I've been doing the whole time. And here's the answer to the situation. So yeah, I'm glad you liked it. Well, great. I love Cloak and Dagger. This is way better than the Inhumans.
Oh, what isn't?
Well, yes, but I mean, it's like, this is poetry. This is really a great series.
Mm-hmm. I'm just waiting for them to get the rocks on stuff because we get that blue blinking, we get that huge neon sign every episode. It's coming.
Oh yeah. Well, because it all comes back to Roxanne. I mean, Roxanne is a great little MacGuffin of a villain.
Mm-hmm.
You can put Roxanne in anything. Roxanne is like Hydra. It's like it doesn't matter, and Roxanne is actually tied to Hydra, which we've seen in Agent Carter, which is what I love about Roxanne and Hydra and the entire MCU. That Disney, don't abandon this stuff. This is where you do some of your great deep dive nerdery, and we nerds appreciate that. At least I think we do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it goes through a great arc with these characters, and they come out the other end, and it basically comes to we need to talk moment. Because that's how these things always end. And it's a cliffhanger. We've got to wait till Thursday. But I'll be live tweeting it if you want to live tweet with me. Because, these guys all know about me now. So I'm famous on the Twitters, apparently. Maybe. Sure, why not? I don't think we're getting enough tweeters, although we're on the East Coast, so there's probably more tweeters later, but it wasn't as high. The hashtag Cloak and Dagger wasn't as high as I would expect it to be for a show this good. This is a really good show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a really, really good show. And from the start, that's what really shocks me about it is from the start, it's this good. I'll give that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., a lot of shows, they stumble a little ways, but this is right out of the gate, it is hitting its marks. And I think that's what you need to do when you're a show like this. When you're any superhero show, you need to be able to engage immediately. And we've completely tossed out the canon. This is a total Ferrigno Hulk, but it is fantastic. Any thoughts, Phil?
I don't know if I'd go full Ferrigno Hulk because eventually we might get that Agent Carter reference, which ties it closer to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, eventually we could get an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. crossover here because that's
no. I mean, it's within the MCU, but Ferrigno Hulk means it's completely removed from the comics.
Okay, yeah. I thought you were meaning it was separate from everything. Okay, yeah.
No. I still say Ferrigno Hulk existed in the same universe as Red Brown Captain America. They were just in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is, and especially because the Hulk travels all the time, it's it was in New York once, maybe twice. The Doctor Strange is in New York. It's not going to cross over very much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Thor and Daredevil were in that universe.
Thor and Daredevil, and so why not, Captain America and Doctor Strange, who are also there. And, of course, Spider-Man.
Yes.
Though even then he was in his own separate thing. It was a whole other thing. It was very annoying. I don't know who sold the rights to Spider-Man, but they really made a bad choice in keeping him separate. I don't know. It's very frustrating.
Wasn't there a story like that somebody was working on like a Hulk Spider-Man crossover in the 80s or something?
Yeah, well, they were gonna do that crossover with Hammond and Ferrigno, but at that time, that was the whole thing, is it was still two separate companies. It was Universal. I don't know if it was Sony at the time, but it might have been Sony. It might have been, whoever produced the original Spider-Man TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And they were two different companies, so there were a lot of legal issues. And I don't know if this was just the actor in the pre-Twitter age when, you would say, oh, I want to do this. And then everyone would say, well, I guess they're doing this, like our current Reed Richards. What is it? Kaznareski or something? Or
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski, yeah, because he said, I'd do that job. I would like that job, sir. And say, well, I guess he has the job now.
Yeah, because I
wish jobs were that easy.
I think a lot of actors seeing a good payday, especially if you're shooting for something Marvel. You're just like, hey,
yeah, well, they're well written shows, and that's the thing. It's like if you're at Disney Marvel, it's well written, it's good. And I can't wait to see Incredibles tomorrow.
Yes, Incredibles 2, yes.
I haven't seen it yet, so don't spoil it for me, Phil.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm seeing it tomorrow.
Okay, I'm going to see it tomorrow. I was going to see it today, but my logistics just missed where it would have been practical for me to see it. I was like, oh, I should have seen it today. But anyway, I'm going to see it tomorrow. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. It's going to be great because it's the Incredibles, and they are, as in the name, incredible. But speaking of things that are incredible, which I wanted to do when I was talking about Lou Ferrigno Hulk, I read The Immortal Hulk.
Oh, yes. Did you like it?
Yes. I loved it. Bruce Banner is believed to be dead, and he must let the world continue to think that he is dead until he can find a way to control the raging beast that dwells within him.
That's a convincing act getting shot in the head.
Yeah, well, it helps. Jacqueline, clearly this is meant as a real homage to our Ferrigno Hulk universe. Our Jacqueline McGee, who is now hot on the story of the Hulk, and I hope they keep her up. I hope they integrate her as much as possible. Jack Colvin had kind of a pay or play contract where he was always listed, but it wasn't in every episode. I want Jacqueline McGee in every episode. I do think it's going to be fun and fantastic, because we do have this idea that we have. It kind of reminds me of a very interesting take on the Hulk, because what you have is essentially, the Hulk doesn't kill because Bruce Banner doesn't kill, but you can survive a heck of a lot.
But he can break every bone in somebody's body.
Yeah. It's like he'll never wake up and he'll never walk again, but he's alive. Nobody got moited. So it kind of does the gag on the whole idea.
Well, I think they're playing with that now. Especially that part at the end where he's like staring at himself in the mirror, saying, am I, is this a good person? Am I a good person? I think they're saying, the Hulk if Banner was a good person, the Hulk wouldn't be able to kill. But is Banner a good person?
He built nuclear bombs, man. That was his job.
Yeah.
I think.
And just mean the traumas of his childhood. He might,
Well, don't always blame the trauma. One of my favorite Grey Hulk stories is the one with the guy who has the reverse Freddy Krueger nightmare mutant power.
Yes.
Yeah, where the guy, he attacks the girl. The guy's going to kill the girl. Yeah, he's basically the Shadow because they dress him just like the Shadow.
He comes out when the guy falls asleep. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's told from the girl's perspective. She's saying, and the guy says, "Come on, I can see who you are. I can see what you are." And Banner just basically says, "Yeah, I would I can see that might be fun to see you be as evil as you could be, but I'm not going to do that. And then, basically goes on to be the Hulk and say, you know what? I'm going to use my power to beat up on bad people, to be the Punisher.
Well, I think that's part of what even like Peter David did with his Incredible Hulk run, especially like that Gray Hulk stuff. Is like at that point the Hulk was like everything Banner didn't want to deal with in his own head.
Mm-hmm.
All the Peter anger, any resentment, anger, any negative thoughts he considered negative. He just like kind of, I'll let that come out when the sun goes down.
David, I still respect you as a writer. Yeah. But no, I mean, it was great, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait to read issue 2. Like I said, this is a good series. Additionally, you read Exiles.
Yes.
You know what I read this week?
What?
Exiles issue 1 from True Believers for $1.
Oh.
Yeah, so I read it, and then I saw it. It's interesting that when it all began originally, they were all mutants. Magnus is weird. That's a weird power. He's basically got the Midas touch, but for steel. Turned his nom into steel, oh boy, that's a little heavy-handed. I wonder if that's an actual character or they just created him for that. I don't know, but it was neat to see how it originally started and where we are now with our time meter and all that kind of stuff.
And I knew I just read it, but once I read it, I knew it's probably your favorite issue of Exiles because we got like an alternate timeline where Ben Grimm stayed in the past as Blackbeard.
Oh yes, well we've seen this alternate timeline before, but you know what's fascinating about this? Okay, so there are rules to things like this. Okay, because if you remember the 1862 universe, or was it 1682? That's what it was. The Neil Gaiman universe. That's like in the in the English Victorian. The whole reason it occurred was because Steve Rogers got sent back in time, and then once you had the cosmology of the Marvel Universe is insane, but weirdly consistent. It's like Back to the Future, where you don't think this is actually super consistent. You're like, dang, all the math works. That's exactly what would happen if you establish this. And as we've seen in the Ultimates, the idea of major events in the universe are weighted and drag things with them.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that if you were to move Steve Rogers to the past, he would pull the rest of the Age of the Heroes with him to the past because he is that powerful of an anchor. And that is essentially what we see. We see that because Ben Grimm stayed in the past, it pulled an Age of Heroes into this 1760 universe.
Yeah, because we got a version of Sam Wilson and then, who was that? Rebecca Barnes.
Yeah, well, who was pulled from an alternate universe into that universe. And, of course, Misty Knight with a robot hook arm. Well, that makes any sense. I don't know, but we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. We're not even going to ask how that robot arm works.
Well, this was like the first issue of Exiles I read. So didn't they say it's like because some of the other universes were destroyed, it was kind of pulling stuff from like...
Yeah, I mean, and it's a very interesting side explanation for that because these other universes are destroyed. The universes start merging.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like I said, it also fits within that Neil Gaiman idea that when you move a major hero to the past, it will pull other heroes towards them. So this was a brilliant issue. Like I said, the math is solid. Math without numbers is what we do here in comic books, but it was solid. It was a bunch of gobbledygook on a blackboard, but that was Reed Richards' gobbledygook. So you knew it was right.
Yeah.
And speaking of Reed Richards' gobbledygook, did you read Marvel 2-in-1?
Of course I did. You know I did.
I know you did.
The annual number 1, yes.
Oh, that was the annual.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the Thing and Invincible or Infamous Iron Man.
Yes.
I'm like in such a weird spot with Doom right now.
Well, just the way
I blame Gwenpool.
just the way
But I know that.
just the way he's portrayed in this issue, I think this kind of takes place before Bendis's Iron Man 600.
Well, no, it definitely does, but it show and this is this idea. Well, they're basically Bendis and his Bendising, rubbing his Bendis on everything. It's like, Bendis is doing. I guess we've been Bendised. So I guess we've got to really push him. Say, see, he was always a villain. Now, granted, he was always a villain. He was like Otto. Which is that he wants to be a good person, but he is a villain, and he's still a villain, and you can't stop being a villain, because what makes you a hero is, but you know what, for what it's worth, you really have the reads kind of saying, see, this is what makes you a hero.
Yeah, well,
My Little Pony's power of friendship.
Yeah, we get that. We get a new council reads, and they said, yeah, even the last council reads was wrong. It's the people in our lives that give us strength, friendships, and family.
Exactly. And you know what the problem was? Doom doesn't have his cutie mark.
He doesn't have what?
His cutie mark.
Oh, yeah.
You need your cutie mark to know the power of friendship. If you don't find your cutie mark, how are you ever going to find the power of friendship? Although I thought it was a great artistic note in this, is that as you stick fighting Doom, he gets the cut under his eye.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Great take. And a great way to essentially de-Bendisize Bendis's Deadpooling of his face later, because he gets this mark prior to that issue, and he has that scar, but still he's a noble man. It's this idea that maybe even as Bendis is rubbing his Bendis on things, we can say that, you know what? No, Doom has nobility. Yes, he's obsessed with Reed Richards. Yes, he is all these things, but maybe a Doom 2099 could exist. That idea that there is something that is better about Doom if he could just take a chill pill once in a while.
I think, if they play this right, I don't think Doom, well, maybe if they do a movie or something, but I don't think for the immediate future they're going to play Doom as like full villain. Even when the Fantastic Four comes back, maybe I'm wrong, but they might play him more as like an anti-hero. Like he might be trying to do good things, but it's always going to be, he has to one-up Reed Richards at every turn.
Yeah, that could very well be the case. Now he's got his Deadpool face, but I think actually that is going to be an even more powerful reason for him to be a noble man.
Mm-hmm.
That he can say it was never about my face; it was about failure and needing to be better and needing to care for all people if I was powerful enough.
That's what I was going to say. They should even just leave his face like perfect and show, what really wasn't the face. He was just using that as an excuse. Doom is Doom, no matter what he looks like.
Well, exactly. And we're going to have to see. It was interesting, it was fun for me because they do really talk about, again, this idea that the Von Dooms say that this is our land too, and they're not calling them gypsies now. They're the Zeffrini, which I don't know if is an actual term for gypsies or if that is just basically their Latvian Magia version of the word gypsy. It's not the mafia, it's the Magia. What are you talking about? We ain't saying anything about the mafia. They don't exist. We're talking about the Magia. And likewise, it's not he's not a gypsy. He's a Zeffrini or whatever it is. So, but maybe that's actually a term for the Romani that I don't know about. And so there we go. But regardless, it's Latvian for whatever the group of people that Victor Von Doom is a member of. But it kind of strikes, yeah.
Who's this guy claiming to be his father? That doesn't look like no Nathaniel Richards to me.
No, well, no, that's the Von Doom. That is the guy. That is the son that his grandmother Stupp that he said he's not Nathaniel's son. He's Nathaniel's grandson.
Ah, okay.
Because his grandmother made up the story that, oh, I was with the Baron, or now the King, for some reason. That's why they have the Von Doom. There are linguistic rules to how you get a name. And if you're a Von Doom, it means you are of Doomstadt, which means you are royalty.
So Nathaniel is Victor's grandfather?
Nathaniel is Victor's grandfather.
So that would make Reed his uncle?
He is his own grandpa, yes. Yes, so...
Reed Richards is Von Doom's uncle?
Yeah, Reed. It's actually Uncle Reed. And Franklin is his cousin, as is Valeria. Yes. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned it, but Lockjaw was very good. Franklin and Valeria show up in that.
I know. I don't think you've been reading Spider-Man Deadpool, but like they've been bouncing around between like the present and like this future timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, they sent present Deadpool into this future, and his future self came back. But in this future, it's like old lady Val, and she's wearing like Doom armor.
Well, that would be consistent because she does have she has the same that Reed has. Reed doesn't hate Dr. Doom. He hates that he's kind of a sociopath, but he actually believes there is nobility and goodness within him. He feels that basically Doom has had a bad childhood, which is why they say in this whole thing, their purpose is that the new Reed is no more Dooms. Our job is to make sure that no child has the traumas that a Doom suffers.
Well, in the beginning of this book, Doom was even asking Ben, he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I know Reed and Sue are dead." He's like, and this doctor's leading you around for her own, who knows what she's looking for, but and you're lying to the torch. And then at the end, I think Doom's like, I don't know if Reed's dead.
Well, yeah. Well, the memory that he got was that Reed.
Oh yeah, the Secret War. Yeah.
Yeah, he got his Secret Wars memories back, which makes me wonder if Doctor Strange has his Secret Wars memories.
Do you think anyone does? It's like
yeah, but it's Doctor Strange.
Was it just
I haven't read the new Doctor Strange yet.
Was it just a side effect of putting everything back, or did Reed intentionally wipe everyone's memories? Why would they wipe Ben and Johnny's memories?
Well, he wiped Ben and John's memory. Honestly, to be painfully honest about it, because Reed and Doom are not that different. And Reed sees Doom as a project. And he wiped Ben and Johnny's memories because he wanted Doom and Ben and Johnny to be heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And if they knew that and not for nothing, for what it's worth, if Ben knew that Reed was alive, Ben would not stop trying to find him.
Mm-hmm.
Much like David Banner, he is, Reed Richards is believed to be dead. He must let the world continue to think that he is dead, that he can find a way to control the raging spirit that was within him.
Oh, but that's a scene we need in the upcoming Fantastic Four book. Is just Reed and Doom going at it. Doom's like an anti-hero now, trying to save the world from the threat and menace of Reed Richards, and Ben Grimm's just like, you guys are basically two sides of the same coin, right?
Yeah, well, I read that in Fantastic Four versus X-Men. Yes, two sides of the same coin, but they are way more, and what it is they are way more two sides of the same coin than even like Luthor and Superman or Joker and Batman.
Well, especially this current Doom, prancing around as like an Iron Man. It's like. Mm-hmm. I'm just waiting for someone to say, the Doom that's here now was like Reed Richards if he didn't have family around him.
Yeah. And, okay, just to switch some gears here. Speaking of Iron Man, did you read Thor?
Yes, of course I did.
Okay.
Thor #1.
So there is a thing
going on. No. I did.
I'm going to talk it.
I reread it. I know what that is, and it's not what you think it is. They made they made a statement about Stark and Asgardia.
Yes.
Back in 2012, they kind of built. Tony Stark helped them build Asgardia. It was kind of like a combination of Repulsar technology and Asgardian whatever.
Yeah, and but Odin specifically says, when he says what smelled too much like Stark, he didn't. He specifically says it wasn't Asgardia itself, and they go, "How is Freya?" And there is a strong implication that Freya is Zeusing it up behind Odin's back. Hey, you see those horns on his helmet? Horns of a cuckold. That's all I'm telling you. Yeah, dang Skippy. I'm gonna say it, man. He is sitting there, and his wife is stepping out on him with Tony Stark.
Tony Stark, man, there's nowhere he won't go. I mean, when he was with the Guardians of the Galaxy,
he's gone where no man has gone before.
Oh, really? When he was with the Guardians of the Galaxy for 5 minutes, he slept with Gamora.
Well, sure, why not? You know.
And then he was like laying. They showed him laying in bed going, "Oh."
Yeah.
Well, again, it was a Bendis production. It was a Bendis production, so.
Yeah. Well, that's Bendis for you.
Oh, did you see in the new Dan Slott Iron Man book who I guess Tony Stark's going after again? What female he's going to be dating again?
Pepper?
Janet Van Dyne.
Janet Van Dyne. Oh yeah, I saw that. Okay. Well, honestly, they are like the most logical people.
Ultron's not going to be happy.
Who's not going to be happy?
Ultron. Well, Pimtron.
Oh, Pimtron. Is Pimtron... Is Pimtron ever happy?
No, but he's like really not going to be too really not going to be happy.
Well, or he'll just go back to Jocasta.
Huh?
And say, hey, have you met Jocasta? She's got all your engrams, but hey, look at how tight her body parts are, because they're made of adamantium. Yeah, honestly, yeah, those guys. But no, but here's the other thing. So you have that implication right there that Freya and Tony had some moments, and Odin was like, dude, I've only been dead so long. But there's a second scene in there that goes to my classic fan theory that Freya is Loki's real mother. Okay. And that is when she's talking about Loki, and she says, he is not the sum of either of his fathers. Never mentions Loki's mother.
I don't think they've ever mentioned Loki's mother, have they?
Yeah, well, because it's Freya.
I know, but I mean, even like in the whole history of Thor, they've never mentioned who Loki's mother is.
They've never mentioned Loki's mother because, and it is, I believe it's canonical that Freya was captured by Laufey. Freya was in Laufey's capture for a period. Odin kills Laufey. This is actually canon. Odin kills Laufey to reclaim Freya and finds a baby.
That's why he takes in a Frost Giant's baby.
Absolutely, that's why he takes in a Frost Giant's baby. And anyone who thinks it wasn't why he took in a Frost Giant's baby, you aren't looking at how big those horns are on Odin's overcompensating helmet. Okay. This guy gets stepped out on more than Hera.
He likes big weaponry too. That's true. That's true.
But you know what? For what it's worth, you know what? As much as Hera likes to complain about Zeus stepping out, you know, Freya is not actually Thor's mother. Thor's mother is actually Gaia. And speaking of Freya or Gaia being Thor's mother, who shows up at the very end of the bonus feature?
Oh, the second story, the old man Thor story, the future Phoenix.
The Future Phoenix?
Wait. Oh, are you talking about the second story or the first story?
I'm talking about the second story. I'm talking about the guy who wanted a beer.
Yeah.
Did he have the Phoenix power? I didn't notice that.
Yeah. That's supposed to be the Future Phoenix. Yeah. That's how he still.
But who is the Future Phoenix?
I don't know, bub. Who is it? Snicked.
Yeah, it's really Old Man Logan. But of course, as was established in, I want to say, Hitch's run, or was it? No, it was in Millar's run. In Millar's run on the Fantastic Four, Logan's powers are derived from Gaia, the elder goddess of life. So the fact that the elder goddesses of life's avatar, and of course, hey, who else's avatar do we see in this?
Uh,
The guy, the angry demon from the Crimson Dimension.
Oh, the Juggernaut.
Yeah, the Juggernaut. Yeah. I'm just saying, you get this idea about avatars in this.
Yes.
And so we have the Juggernaut there as the newest, and then Thor says, "Oh, great! Now I have to face a Juggernaut that wants world domination." Like, that's it. Juggernaut has never done this before, but now he wants world domination. Great. My first day back as Thor.
I love the bit with all the hammers, the new hammers breaking, because it's like, it makes Mjolnir seem that much more special, because it's like, oh wow, why can't they just make another one?
Yeah, well, of course, because pure Euro has been mined a lot. Although one could easily ask, well, where is all that Euro? And if they put Euro into all these hammers, couldn't they have just taken all of that Euro that was spread about these hammers and concentrated into one Euro hammer?
Maybe it had some kind of impurity in it. Maybe I thought that's what they were saying, is that they couldn't find an actual like pure 100, even a small piece of like pure.
Oh, so it was already an alloy before they could. There was already an Uru alloy. It naturally became an Uru alloy in the ground before they could mine any pure Uru. Yeah, they mess around with the Uru a lot. But
I love this line where Thor, you were saying about it, he's like, oh, I got to face a Juggernaut bent on world domination. He's like, why could it have not been Zarko the Tomorrow Man? Perhaps that one fellow with an eyeball for a head.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what, that guy with an eyeball for a head, he's actually pretty formidable right now, because he was there at the blinding of the Watcher.
Oh yeah, he put a Watcher eye on his head.
Yeah, he's like, oh wow, now I know everything. That's kind of amazing. Omniscience is a dangerous superpower. That's all I'm going to say. But drives him mad, so that is how it goes. And it's this idea that theoretically, metaphorically, Logan and Thor are actually brothers. They're both born of the power of Gaia. And it would not surprise me if they decide to cheat entropic death by sacrificing each other to create the Lifebringer of this universe.
Yeah, because in that future story, earlier Aaron's run, this like Thor thought Earth was dying. It's the universe that's dying in the future.
Yes, but it's an interesting idea. So the idea is, so let me give you some deep dive fun here. This is why they call me the professor. So it was established in the Ultimates that Galactus was never meant to be the Devourer. He was meant, and this is great because it ties into our current MCU stories. So the idea is that the universe is finite. And it's going through process after process to try and become better, just like any other organic thing, because the universe is a living thing. And Galactus was supposed to be the Lifebringer, but his cosmic egg was opened too early. And so his goal for balance was towards death. The idea of a finite universe with constant reproduction of life would eventually run out of energy. And so the Galactus is to bring balance to the universe by ending life, because life will overtake the the universe, and then everything will die. And the only way that you can maintain a balance in the universe is to have a Galactus that devours worlds. Now, as revealed in the Ultimates, he wasn't meant to be that. If he had been in his cosmic egg longer, he would have been the life bringer. And the life bringer's purpose was to make sure that there was always more to come into the universe. That life would survive, not death. Now we're coming into our story now of the Infinity Gauntlet, or the Infinity War, that which is Death Wins, is its big storyline before the new movie comes out. And I think what they're going to be looking at there is this idea that, death is the dominant power in this universe, but it wasn't supposed to be. That this was the universe that was supposed to be the universe of life, if for no other reason than because this is the universe that Reed Richards created. So, of course, he wanted this universe to be one of life. Boom. What do you think of that crazy fan theory, Phil?
Well, I love your fan theories, but no, I was just thinking of more Odin stuff because. Do you remember who we got on the last page of the first story?
Loki's return?
No. Well, Thor and Loki get pulled into what is that? The realm of the dead, I get, or
Oh yeah, Beldar.
Balder the Brave, and I don't know if you remember, they revealed years ago.
Yes,
Loki revealed. Yeah, he's another child of Odin.
Yeah, because Odin did step out too. You know what is actually kind of interesting when you think about it? Odin and Freya have no children together. That they are married for 1 billion years and they've never produced one child. Makes you wonder what would happen if Freya and Odin actually ever did have a kid.
They're like the all-powerful Mike and Carol Brady.
Yeah, really? They are. Here's a story of a god named Odin who had 2 kids on the side.
He was trying to get with the Phoenix Force in prehistoric times.
Yeah. Here's a story of a goddess named Freya who kind of had a weird Stockholm syndrome relationship with Laufey-san.
But I can't believe
it gets weird.
I can't believe
it's different for gods.
I can't believe you didn't bring up the big thing. Thor. They showed Thor was has a houseboat or whatever, or he's living on a boat on Earth. And where was this boat at, Charlie?
This was in Newark Harbor.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't like to brag about our fair city. Hey, Newark gets its shout out. That's great. You know what? We're not New Yorkers in Newark. We know we're great. We don't have to brag. we don't need a freaking Disney store on every corner to say, look how great we are. We have Disney stores. It's like, Oh, by the way, can I just give a quick shout out to product placement? In Cloak and Dagger episode 3, there's a place where you can get all of these items. And he gets the bag from Whole Foods. It's funny because it's gentrification. That was really blatant. I do wonder how much Whole Foods paid for that, but I'm guessing a lot, or maybe not so much because it was on Freeform. But I will guarantee you that basically funded the whole series, so we're good now. Anyway, Philip, is there anything else to talk about tonight?
I don't think so. Thor issue, this was one of my favorite ones. I mean, I haven't been this excited about Odin's son in a while. It was a good issue.
This was his name is actually Thor. That is what his dad named him.
I know, but when you kind of differentiate between the Jane Foster Thor, which I was happy we even got a Jane Foster appearance.
Yeah, and see, I liked her in it because it was like, oh, it's Jane Foster, but it's like, okay, when is she Nick Fury? We have Jane Foster, Nick Fury now. I got a tip that there's a thing in the place, and ooh, can I touch your hammer?
She was working with that council and stuff, and
yeah,
the council was it the Council of Realms or whatever, and
all the refugees.
We see Volstagg recovering, yeah.
Oh, so happy to see Vol, and he's his latest was a liquefied turkey, which it's different for gods. It's okay, you know.
But no, I just love the Jane Foster part where she sees Thor's new hammer, and one of them, and she's like, "How's the velocity? Does it drift to the left a little like Mjolnir did?"
Yeah, it's
she's like, "Can I touch it?" And she's like, "Wait a second, did I not hear you're cancer free now?" No.
Not allowed to touch a hammer till you are cancer free.
Well, yeah.
Can I grow the hair back, Jane?
It undoes the chemo. Yeah.
Yeah, well, not sure why that happens, but it does. Okay, yeah. I mean, no, that was great. We got Jane. This was a great first issue of Thor. In fact, I got to say, it was probably my favorite book I read this week.
It might be for me too. I mean, we even got a Namor cameo.
Namor. He's delightful. Oh, and that actually, you know what else I read this week? Speaking of Lords of the Sea, Aquaman meets Jabba Jaw.
Oh yeah, was that good?
No. I mean, it wasn't. It was no Suicide Squad meets the Banana Splits, and it was no Hong Kong Phooey meets Black Lightning. It was very forced. It had its moments, but what really made it good, though, was the Captain Caveman short in the back, where they basically suggest that the Spectre and Shazam have like these ongoing conversations with each other. So the spirit of vengeance of God and Shazam, the great wizard, will often talk, and Spectre is saying that nobility is a recent trait in humanity, that humans weren't noble for most of their life. You know, and he says to Shazam, even you thought Black Adam could be a champion, and sure as heck not, you know. And he says, well, let me show you. And they pick a random Neanderthal or Neanderthal offshoot, who is our Captain Caveman, and they bring him to the future, where he meets the Teen Angels. Although he's not a very good drummer. He broke the spirit of the drums, and he was very sorry for that. But they basically fight all kinds of monsters in some quick montages. And, you know, it is this idea that actually, they says, and because the Spectre says, it's the Spectre, right? The guy with the green cape?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the Spectre. He's the spirit of vengeance. And he says, I guess you're right. You know, nobility has been in humanity for a very long time. And then Shazam says, I'm just getting better at picking them. But it was so good. I really loved our Captain Caveman. He was fantastic. You know, he missed prehistoric era, but he could get over stuff real quick because you have to as a caveman, man. It's like, I once lived in a cave. Yes, and it is so pitch perfect. It's one of these things where it's like, why wasn't that our main story? You know, why isn't Captain Caveman meets Shazam the story we get? Is I mean, I love Jabba Jaw. It was good, but I don't know. It got very loopy and circular and C-Lab 2020. Not the Adult Swim C-Lab 2020, the original C-Lab 2020.
Well, you have an Aquaman movie coming in December, so maybe they're trying to push Aquaman a little more. If this book had come out like a year from now, maybe Shazam would have been like the headliner.
Yeah, I don't know. But like I said, the Captain Caveman backup story was good. I hope we get a Captain Caveman story. I actually hope, like, we got a really good Snagglepuss. I would love to see the adventures of Captain Caveman as presented in the DC universe, empowered by Shazam. You know? They don't give him the lightning bolt, but he's Captain Caveman. He is everything that Captain Caveman should be, and it was really fantastic. Cool. So, you know what? I won't say it's worth $4.99, but the Captain... please! This is one of the big books. This is one of the. It's a thickie. Has a backup feature. Uh, and DC is struggling, man. They are desperate. You know, those movies ain't bringing in the T-shirt sales. Or to be more specific, that the T-shirt sales are fine, but the movies are costing them an arm and a leg.
That's something me and Lilith have been talking about. It's like the movies, even the comics. They need someone over there to steer the ship. You know.
Yeah.
Well, buy that thing.
Entirely possible, but it
just seems like they're going in 20 different directions and seeing what sticks to the wall. You know.
I am hoping that AT&T can fix this. It doesn't seem like they should be able to, but I get the feeling AT&T is going to be so bottom line focused. They're going to be like, they're not going to have this emotion about it. And they're going to say, dude, just make a good movie. Okay?
Maybe they'll appoint one person to go in there and be like, hey, clean this up.
Exactly. They're going to get somebody, going to make it Quentin Tarantino, but that's fine.
It doesn't even have to be creative, even if they just send an executive in, someone who hires creatives. But no, this week Jeff Johns kind of stepped down from his thing, and I guess he's going to be, I don't know if he's going to be working on the movies more and stuff. So,
yeah, well, I mean, there's going to be some shakeups. Trump's hatred of CNN did not actually pan out for him because he found out that we actually have. But you know what? I don't want to get too political, but I was going to say,
there's your Charlie Esser weekly Trump reference. Take a drink.
Well, no, I'm going to say, well, it's not even about Trump. It's that. Well, it is about Trump in the sense that he has proven that our founding fathers actually had a bright idea in separation of powers. Mm-hmm. In most every other country, we have a parliamentary system. The powers aren't really that separated. And the executive and in a parliamentary system, the executive and legislative branch are the same thing. That basically it's just the head of the legislative branch is the executive. In America, they said, no, we're going to have 3 different groups so that no matter which group gets too much power, there's another group that has just as much power to say no.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're fleeing from that monarchy. They wanted checks and balances, you know. No
exactly.
Group is going to be this all powerful.
And I'll tell you, the first case was Andrew Jackson, which was a very similar case to Trump, which is that Andrew Jackson violated the Constitution in the Trail of Tears, was found guilty by the Supreme Court, censured by the Supreme Court, and although the Congress saved him because they were of his party, which were Democrats, so don't say I'm being partisan here, the Democrats saved him from the Supreme Court. The Republic continued. The Republic stood major constitutional crisis where a sitting executive with a complacent Congress committed horrifying acts against the nation, but we still managed to get beyond it. That's why I say it's right now the only real thing on the table with Trump is nuclear weapons, and it's like, if I have to wait 4 years for him to no longer have nuclear weapons, I'll take it. Just make sure he doesn't use nuclear weapons. That's fine, because he's bad at that. Okay, but I think that actually historians will look at this moment in American history and say, wow, as much as people complained about the inefficiency of a presidential system, where the president and the Congress did not have to work together because the president's job relied on the Congress, this actually worked out pretty good. Because you had a system where people were not, because even though the Congress is obliged to the president because they're the same party, every person in Congress has their own, they got their own political things they're working on. And they know that whoever's president only has a limited time in there. And so they're like, we'll give you a little, we're not going to give you everything. But anyway, that's my final thought. Philip, how can people find you? I can see Philip watching.
Well, if you want to talk to me, if you want to talk to us, you can always get a hold of me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am at nightwingpdp. But Charlie will give you the email for Superconnectivity, but we're also on Facebook, on Twitter at SuperConnectPod. Send us your thoughts because you know what comes in 1 week, Charlie.
Ant-Man Wasp.
No, that's not till first week of July. No, Luke Cage is 1 week away.
Luke Cage is 1 week away. Oh, we're not even done with Jessica Jones yet.
That's all right. Give people a chance to watch it.
I know. We're getting there though. It's going though. We've gotten to the big reveal on the flashback episode. So we're trundling through.
And don't worry. You're what are you, like 4 or 5 episodes ahead of what's posted? So
I know. But I worry. I don't want to fall behind. Our listeners care.
Don't worry. I know you're pushing out shows, and I'm getting on that Rob Southgate. I'm like, give me that Charlie Esser goodness.
Yeah, well, I guess people like us. I don't know. I don't know.
I do.
I like talking into a microphone.
I know.
Week,
I like it, and I'm important. Remember, I'm winning awards.
You are the award-winning podcaster, Phil.
No, we
Don't
are.
let anyone ever take that away from you.
We are.
You. I have gotten an award, but you got the full stocking lamp.
There's no I in team.
Major award.
There's no I in team. There's an M and an E, so we won't talk about that.
Yes. Anyway, moving right along. If you would like to write to me in an old-fashioned email way, and actually Phil didn't even give his, but if you'd like to write to me in an old-fashioned email way, the way our Maz and Paz once said, you can write to me at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. And Philip, what's your email address? Because you didn't say Nightwing PDP.
Yes, I did. I said nightwingpdp@gmail.com.
You did not say that. I don't think you did.
I did my email, my Twitter, and then I did the Superconnectivity stuff. Yes, I did.
No, I don't think you did.
We're going to go back to the tape. Which one of us is sober?
Doesn't matter who's sober. It's who's paying attention. Actually, I am quite sober. I mean, yes, I am drinking, but that does not pure apple juice the way God intended. Anyway, I don't think he gave it, but you can go back to the tape. But if he didn't say it, it is nightwingpdp@gmail.com if you would like to write him, and follow him on Twitter at nightwingpdp and at Capes Lunatics on Twitter.
Okay.
When we live tweet as Capes Lunatics, and there is a number which I know you didn't give.
Oh, yeah, the voicemail. I did not give that. 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPE. That's right. You can leave your thoughts about anything.
Hey, I know you missed something. And of course, always follow me on Twitter as I live tweet Cloak and Dagger, the best show Marvel's doing right now. At Charlie Esser. I don't know where I'm at. I'm at Charlie Esser. That's where I'm at. I'm sober. It doesn't mean I'm not confused. I'm an old man, Philip. I'm an old man.
Old man Esser.
Old man Esser. I'm like Logan. Got a beer bub. At Charlie Esser, that's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's right there in the middle for the quality. Thank you for connecting with us, ladies and gentlemen. Please super connect with us once again next week. Good Nacht. Schlafen sind gut.
Hey, you can't blame us. We're just excited for all this good Marvel stuff. Comics, TV shows.
That's why this is why I say I just pray that AT&T can fix DC.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, if AT&T, it's like, because you just need that one person who says, I don't care about this.
Do we really need all these Joker movies?
Oh, and we're getting 3 Jokers as a series.
Just give us a Full House instead.